What's up, guys? Day 2 of the super steep project. So right there was where I cut that stump off last night before we left, but you can really see the grade how steep it is from down here. The camera never does it justice, but so what we got today is we're gonna focus on this stuff down here. So a lot of this idea is creating a nice view off their back porch. They don't want to look down at all this mess. They got this beautiful river down here. I gotta show you this, guys, real quick. So there's like, I did work here at this job in 2017, and I just really couldn't remember. We do a lot of jobs and everything, and I was like, man, this just doesn't look familiar. I'm not, you know, didn't seem right. And then I came down here and I saw this, and then it like triggered the memory, and then I remembered the job kind of thing. And it's weird how that happens. But what we did is we cleared out a little spot right down here for them. We forestry mulched a little bit area, but there is a really old power plant right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that's what I remember. I remember seeing that view right there. But yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, some old power plant. I guess the water, there used to be like an old cistern or something like that way up there that used to divert and then come through those two bottom big pipes down there at the bottom. But that's what kind of helped me remember the job. Anyways, let's get back to it up here. All right, so we got kind of this little knoll right here. There's like an old spring, and then probably when the river gets really high, water goes through right there. But I'm not sure what you call that, but what I'm gonna do is try to take a lot of this material that's up right here. Maybe we'll put some in through here, lay some out down in this area. He doesn't want a lot of this stuff, like some of this bigger stuff. He wants to try to keep if we can, but it's not the end of the world if we have to take it out. But the focus is going to be trying to get that taken care of. But yeah, we got mud, so this is going to be very interesting. Oh mercy. So somehow we're going to pull that stuff down and get it ground up and not get stuck. And then this big old Bartha, this is a big old beech tree right here. So he said he's actually fine with leaving the log on this, and then maybe just limiting it up and trying to mulch out some of the top right there if we can. And then obviously we'll get some of this stuff, but it doesn't look near as wet over here, but I guarantee you drive over it a bunch and it'll start pumping. So all right, let's hop in the Yanmar and start dicing. As you can see, I got that all kind of cleaned up, and then right now I'm kind of placing out the material to the brush, getting the brush laid out. Tom ran over one section already, and we'll go ahead and I'll lay this stuff out and he'll run over it again. Pretty squishy in there. Got a little soft on me, obviously, but oh man, this thing is just so challenging, so slow because how steep it is and stuff. But there is kind of a dry spot like right through here. So once we get this mulch down, I'm gonna probably try to come kind of right through here maybe, or I might lay some wood out and try to get one or two more big chunks right there, and then I think we're gonna come around the top again. We are gonna work on this big old tree over here. I'll go show you this real quick. Tom's running up and getting some fuel for the skid steer. He's gonna fuel it up, and then he's bringing down a can for me for the yam mower, so we don't have to track it all the way back up. But so here's a lot of the top. Tom, I laid it out, cut it. I think if I went around the other side, I could get some of that real quick. Oh man, but this is this ground isn't the best down through here, so we just got to be careful we don't end up making more of a mess. But that is a big old biggin. Actually, this is probably as dry as it's. A really good spot, actually. I might be able to do a lot from right here. Come around this side. Interesting. I mean, yeah, you run over it 100 times, it's gonna pump, but look at that. Way in there. That is quite the crater. Man alive. Man, I bet that thing is 12 feet tall at least. Maybe 15 feet across, something like that. But yeah, it'd be nice. I can probably reach a couple of these while we're right here before we go up and around, because that's gonna be really hard to get from the top. I can get some of that stuff a little bit farther on top of that edge, but we'll play it by ear. Tom popped the chain off the yam mower, or off the roadback. I've done it myself already once today. It's easy to do. It's not the easiest thing to put back on though. Some people I've seen where they pop it on no problem, but and sometimes just take like a wrench like this. Let's see if I can. So push the bar like that. It has a locking on it, but it doesn't lock like it's supposed to. It might go, I don't know. Sometimes it'll just kind of wear out that one like little guide thing. Do it again. Nope, that ain't gonna work. We'll have to get a new chain. Pretty humid out here. A little bit. All right, Tom's got a new chain. Gonna try this one. Ah, I got my gloves. Oh well. Back to cutting for Tom. All right guys, so we kind of jumped around a little bit here today, but everything from here over that way, I'm back on top of the hill, that's all finished. And then we went as far as we could really into that beech tree. He said just get the top out of it. You know, there's more there, but the beech tree has to move. He's trying to figure out what we're going to do with the logs and stuff for it. So he wanted to get some of it cleaned up, but he said to go ahead and we're going to work this, trying to open up for the view. So make this look as good as we can right here. And then we do have to ball up all of our stumps, meaning grind in the spurs, the roots that are sticking out. So we got that to do. You know, we're getting close to the end of the day here. So we're just going to kind of do what we can, make it look as good from the house as possible, and then focus on getting this cleaned up and stuff. So Tom's actually going to start bringing some tools and stuff like that to the truck. We still got a couple hours left, but just kind of winding down here. You know, we're done. We'll finish this and work on the stumps, and that's really all the you know, we're not going to expand into a new section or anything like that. right, guys, there's all of our stumps all balled up. Cut a lot of dirt and mulch off them, that's for sure. So the customer has his own, he has a mini excavator, a dump trailer and everything, and he said he's gonna pick away at this stuff over the weekends. And yeah, just kind of show you, this is right where we started on this job. Got all through there cleaned up, and honestly this was probably the fastest section just because it was the flattest section. And then the farther we got that way, the steeper it went, steeper it got and the harder it got and everything. So, but you can kind of see, definitely looks a lot different than what it was. So he said he's gonna have us back to do more, kind of keep it, wraps all the way around over to here, but hopefully he can get a game plan as far as what he wants to do with the rest of that. I mean, we could spend all day right down there, so it was kind of the best, trying to utilize the best of our time. So I feel like we did pretty good though. Definitely got a chunk knocked out for him. But hope you guys enjoyed the video here, and thanks for watching, and have a good one, y'all.